And we're away. The pike season has begun. Get in there. Well, here we are, troops. Piking season has begun. First trip of the pike season, first day of the pike season, and we're amongst it. 3 rods out. Trying something slightly different this year, still with single hooks, but I'm going for more for paternostered smaller baits, just up in the water, just a foot or 2 off the deck. Early season, still plenty of weed on the riverbeds and the drains, so I want them baits just above it, and I'm going with little baits, single hooks, hoping for a instant hit and a good conversion rate, because conversion rate the last 2 seasons has been quite poor on some of the fishing, especially the bigger sea deads. Hair rigging single hooks is not, it's okay in the early parts of the season, it was very good. Latter part of the season, where the fish are a bit wiser and a bit more wary, and I know people say pike don't get riggy or anything like that, but it's a big difference the last couple of seasons to catching plenty of big high doubles and hooking them straight away to very finicky bites in January and February. Now it might be the colder water and they might be a bit more lethargic, but the conversion rate at the back end of the season in the colder months wasn't as good. So I've got a seed dead on, a sardine, but I've hooked it slightly different. I'm not going to say anything in case it don't work, but and we'll see how to hook up on that. And it's still a single hook, but I've altered the way I'm hooking them, so we'll see how that works. So 3 rods out, small sprat on one, small roach on the other, because there's zander in here, so you know what I mean. Hedge me bets, and 1 sea dead, and we'll see how we get on. It's the start of the season, we're fishing. Welcome back, troops, another day, another drain. Well, here's the swim. Left hand rod is just over the third of the way across. Small roach paternostered. Small dead roach paternostered. And there's about 10-11 foot of water there. And I'm about 1.5 to 2 foot off the bottom. There's a middle rod, the stop knot needs adjusting slightly. Just been dragged under a little bit by a bit of weed. Again, that's about 10 foot deep, that's halfway across. That's a small sardine. presented on a single hook, hair rigged. And the right hand rod, getting 10-11 foot of water, small sprat paternostered on a single hook, getting about 1.5 foot, 2 foot off the deck. It's a grey day. Hopefully the low light conditions will bring on some feeding. Water's crystal clear, it's lovely. Come on, here's the pike season. First one of the autumn troops. Nice double. Look at that beauty for a kick-off. Nice little double. We're off and running, first pike of the season. Beautiful dark colours. Bit of damage towards the tail. Something's had to go at it. Otter probably, maybe a cormorant, but I would say an otter. Whoa, what a beautiful fish. We're off and running. There she is. And we're away. The pike season has begun. Get in there. Well, that was taken on a roach, whole roach, 3 ounces at the most, static on the deck, single hook. Ooh, I'm out of breath. So that's how the pike feels. You see, it's still early in the season. Well, it's just the kick off of the season. They're still lively. Water levels and temperatures are not at the lowest, obviously. Give them plenty of time to recover in the sling and then let them go at their own leisure. They'll let you know when they're ready to go. I didn't weigh it, didn't want to have it out of the water too long. It was a double. That's made my day already. I'm so predictable. I could go the whole trip now without another fish and I'd be happy. The pike season's up and running. Get in there. Oh, let's get this middle rod back out on the same spot and see if there's anything else out there. It's big sister. Well, what's going to be a little short session, blow the cobwebs off for the start of the season. I finished work at 2, started fishing at 3, it's now 6 o'clock, it's starting to get dark already. I've only been fishing 3 hours, I've had one run on a static roach and hooked it clean, landed it, perfect start to the season, single hook, hair rigged roach. So now I'm all excited, as you can see. I'm not going home. I don't know how long I'm going to fish. It's supposed to get quite wet tonight, but I'll stick it out. I'm going to stick it out all night. There's no point in me packing up at midnight. I might as well stick it out all night. Just seen a little bobble of my middle float out there. The static roach again on the deck. The 2 paternostered baits haven't been touched, but the roach in the middle, say they're about 2 to 3 ounces, not big roach, not small, not the tiny ones, but you know, I decided this year I'm going to match my bait, size of my baits to my single hooks rather than, you know, the big deads. They're just taking too long to hook up. Really, you know, I mean, you think about some of the sardines and herrings and stuff I use on trebles would have been 10 to 12 inches sometimes. You know, even fish, you know, even a fish of 8 inches, you've got a size 2 hook. You know, it's a lot of pike mouth for a very tiny hook. Really, considering the size of a pike and its mouth and the size of a size 2 hook. So this season I'm going to shrink everything down, so it's all going to be small baits or small sections of bait with my single hooks, and we'll see how the conversion rate goes then. And so we've had one run, we've hooked it nice and clean, no issues, returned nice and safely. So let's see if we can crack a few out. Don't know what the form is like for this with a zander. I mean, years gone by, when I first started fishing up here in the 80s and 90s, coming up from London, there was loads of zander, but don't know what the zander form is like now. We might nab one, you never know, but there are a lot of 20s. Obviously, the British Pike Championships are held on this venue. Really calm, still night now. Wind's dropped off. There's not even a ripple on the water. See if we can have a couple of pike before it gets dark. Morning troops. Pretty uneventful night really. Couple of beeps during the night, nothing major, nothing at all to get excited about. It rained from about 9 PM till 4 AM non-stop. Lovely peaceful morning. The wind from yesterday's dropped right down. Still got 3 rods out, still got the same approach, paternoster left and right, static dead on the bottom, in the middle. It's first light, it's just, it looks perfect, so bit of a waste of time last night really. In hindsight, should have gone home maybe and come out and gone somewhere else today, but the opening session of the season, so I thought I'd milk it for all it's worth, see if I can. You never know, do you? I mean, fishing at night on a Fenland drain, you might nab a bonus sander or something, so you know, it was always worth the gamble. So the baits are out, I've had my breakfast. Very grey, misty, quite a bit of mist over the fields rising, but it's supposed to clear up. Going to give it till 9 o'clock, probably 9:30, something like that, and then I shall call it a day. So we've got ourselves 3 hours, not even that, it's almost 7 o'clock now. Gets light quite late, so we've got a couple of hours to try and nab ourselves a couple more pike before the session ends. Oh, what a glorious morning, have a look at this. Look at it, like a mill pond. See the mist. Low-lying cloud, very misty. All the water and condensation from last night's rising. Come on, you pike. Well, troops, it's a different day entirely now. It's blue skies, not a cloud in the sky now. The sun's almost up. It's well gone 8 o'clock, on its way to 9 o'clock. Haven't had a touch. So, I think this little session's coming to an end, but I've got a little stretch of joint up the road. It's out the road, about 10 miles away. So I might have a little recce and a little session on there. Well, I probably will, definitely. That's what I'm going to do. No maybes about it. I ain't going home yet. The bike season started. But it's bright sunshine. That's not what's putting me off. I mean, I've been here, what, 19 hours. I only had one fish. I only had one run. So, you know, them rods have been out all night, not a touch. Right, sometimes places don't fish at night. You know, it's one of those, you got to know your locations, you got to know your stretches. All the pike on different rivers, different waters have different feeding spells, different patrol routes. It's, you know, it takes a lot of work to suss out any venue. Whether this produces at night or not, I don't know. I mean, I had a good session on here back end of last season, further up, when I got kicked off by the overzealous bailiff. But there's a lot of cabbage weed still in there, so I think what we'll do is, if I ain't had anything by 9 o'clock, half 9, I think I'll have a slow wrap up. I'm trying to get me brolly dry. I'll have a slow wrap up, whiz round to the Welland and see what's doing on there. That's my new stretch as well, so I'll hit that river. We'll see how it goes. But at the moment, as always, put a lot of effort in. Ain't got great rewards, but a super cracking pike yesterday evening. So, you know, I'm not downhearted. It would have been nice to have had a few in the dark and see even a zander, but they're quite rare along here nowadays. But you never know, do you? You don't know until you try. So I've gave it a good crack. So the wind's picking up now. Dry all my gear out. If I ain't had a fish by 9, half 9, I shall have a quick wrap up and whiz on to the other stretch. Really blown a gale here, troops. I hope this video comes out all right now. It's just a gentle breeze everywhere else, but you know what it's like out here. Interfering with the audio quite a lot. Mics don't seem to be working. We're on a quite a new venue for me, really. Only so far as that I've fished here over 20 years ago. Used to be a great little spot for pike, zander in days, but don't know what it's like now. Don't know what stamp of fish is, don't know what the quality of the fish is, don't know if it's bit of crabs, don't know if it's been poached to death, ottered to death, don't know. So it's a learning curve. Got 3 rods out, I'm going to show you the swim. As I say, it's quite blowy. I might have to put a windbreak up and do this little shot again. I'm going to listen back to the audio now. But yeah, it's start of the season. We've had one, let's get some more. And here's the swim. Well, here's the swim. As I say, 3 rods out. Left hand one. Off to the left hand margin. A hole as a small roach, patternosterd. Oh, sun's right directly in my face here. It's hard to pick up. Here's the middle rod. It's half a sardine propped up. There's the right hand rod. Just down by that overhanging tree. There's a whole roach. Hair rigged, single hook on the deck, static dead. Been fishing over an hour. Had that middle rod right out in the centre. Nothing. Just repositioned that. Just repositioned all the rods actually, so let's crack on. Wow, as you can see behind me, the old sun's setting fast. First trip of the season. Wasn't a red letter day, we had one double, nice fish. There's a lot of fry jumping out of the water now, 3/4 of the way across. I'm definitely going home, but it's better. Dusted the cobwebs off. We've had a good start to the season, so I'm quite happy. You know, we didn't blank. We got a fish. New venue. You're never going to. Well, you might hit it run. You might hit the ground running, mightn't you? But we didn't. It was turned up, fished, and not a touch, not a sausage. As I say, there are fish moving around, but they're not. I don't think they're fleeing away from predators. I think they're just migrating up and down the river, and they're hopping out. See if I can get it on camera in a second. But yeah, I mean, I reckon we got about half hour of daylight left, maybe a little bit more. Rods will stay until it gets dark. As soon as it gets dark, I'm going to pack up, call it a day. Thanks for watching. If this is the last chit chat, I hope it's not, because I say we had a touch and it's been very bright. So sometimes, just as it's getting dark, where you think you're sitting on a stretch with no fish at all of a sudden they can turn on the feed. So we'll stick it out till them low light levels come in and see if we can nab one. Lovely looking river. There's him. See if we can catch him jumping out. See? They're out there. That's the prey fish. I'm going to cast one of my deads into them, see what happens. Well, that's the first session of the pike season. 24-hour session, one double. I've had a lot better, I've had a lot worse. Thanks for watching, troops. See you on the bank real soon.